hopefully it'll stay cool for you guys here. I want to welcome you guys all and appreciate you coming out this afternoon for our health talk every month at South Lake Family Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Ray. You guys all know that. I want to come up first by saying, hopefully what we'll accomplish today is how chiropractic really benefits you, optimizes your health, and some things that you can take home, information that you can take home that's going to benefit you making decisions for your health. Okay? So what we're going to do is start off with how does chiropractic optimize your health? Let's define what health is. Okay? When I ask people what health is, a lot of people come up and say to me, health is, feeling great, having a lot of energy, sleeping great, there's a lot of different things that we can talk about what health is, but health, actually, the definition in the Webster's Dictionary is basically health is not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, but it's how the body functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to abbreviate, because my writing's pretty bad, and I apologize right away, but it's function, okay? So health is function. Now, what happens is we look at some things that, that happen to our body sometimes, and it doesn't really seem like it's healthy. Okay, I'll give you an example, fever. Okay, I'm going to go right away to fever. Fever or say, purging, vomiting, diarrhea. Okay, just for a better word, put that down. And then pain. Okay, pain is something that doesn't seem like it's healthy, right? But I tell you what, let's say for example, fever. Fever, is the body coming up and raising the body temperature. And what happens is normally we think of a fever as basically the body's fighting something, bacteria, virus, whatever. And what we do is we come up and try and bring it down right away. We bring it down with, basically you want to come up and what you want to do is you want to bring it down, and you want to bring it down basically with, aspirin or Tylenol or whatever. But the problem with that is that there's a little chemical in our body called interferon. I think that's the way you spell it. But interferon is a chemical that's made by the cells, and what it does is this: it comes up and it protects the other cells when a virus sets in. They used to do a lot of research on this previously before on cancers, but interferon, what it does is it comes up and it protects the other cells. Viruses innervate their DNA into our cells, and when our cells divide, which they divide every day, what happens is the interferon comes up and says, these viruses are trying to innervate or intervene, and what happens is they protect it. Okay, so basically, because of this one chemical, we don't die of a flu. All right. Now, we call that a systemic kind of illness or infection, a systemic situation that affects us, our viscera, and it's definitely detrimental if something's not done. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but how this interferon is stimulated? It's stimulated with an increase in body temperature. And for those of you that walked in, the reason why I'm talking about this is a lot of people don't look at these things as being healthy, but they're actually function, which is what we define, what we found out what is health is. Health is how the body functions, not merely the symptoms, And these symptoms basically are showing that our body is healthy. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's trying to come up and prevent our body from succumbing to, say, viruses. If you've eaten something bad, okay, if your body doesn't get rid of it quickly, a healthy body gets rid of something very quickly. If it doesn't, you assimilate it into your body. And what happens is it takes a longer time. They basically found that can create the chronic fatigue, on people's bodies. So those are things that really can create a lot of problems if our body doesn't, right away identify it, get rid of it, be it diarrhea or vomiting. Pain is another thing. If we didn't have pain, if this was something hot and I kept on putting my hand on it, I'd burn my hand. So pain is actually a protective mechanism. When I have people that say I'm in pain when they first come in, I tell them, if you can deal with it, don't take pain medication unless it's preventing you from sleeping. The reasoning why is that a lot of people take pain medication, but it's working. If you're coming up and going out and doing something out in the yard or whatever, you don't know that you're irritating, that area and creating more inflammation, more ripping and tearing possibly of soft tissue, and you're doing more damage. Because pain, I like to look at pain as sort of like a smoke alarm. And in chiropractic, pain is basically the last thing to show up, okay, and it's the first thing to go away. So pain is not really a good indicator for chiropractic, because just like, for example, I think, Deanna, you talked about, a person that was, in the military, and what happens if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Well, if you already have pain, guess what? You already have 80% of the problem already arising, okay? So that's a pretty high percentage. So it takes a longer time is what I'm getting at, If you come in and the pain's not so bad, it just depends on the person. The person could have a lot of pain, and, really it could be easy. Some people's bodies are more sensitive, in other words, and, they exhibit a warning sign a lot faster, and they're a lot more healthier, okay? Now, someone that comes up to me and says, I'm not really feeling too bad, and then all of a sudden it just comes on them like, yeah, their body's been getting used to all that discomfort and pain. And, the old saying of no pain, no gain is, it's really not a real bad rule, because if you're having pain, your body's trying to communicate with you, and we're either listening to it or we're not, okay? So that's basically a little introduction on, really an idea of what health is. And let's see here, that's really drying up pretty good. What I'm trying to do is, we define health, and how does chiropractic relate to that, okay? How does it help that? Well, a lot of times we're looking at advertisements, and they tell you basically how to feel. This is an old advertisement of Avian water. I don't know if they have Avian water still, but it says another day, another chance to feel healthy. And now we know that it's not about feeling necessarily. I mean, you can feel great and be healthy, but you can feel great and not be healthy. An example of that is someone that has cancer, someone that has a heart problem. Okay, the reason why I mention that is, okay, they get diagnosed. Did they have the heart problem at that very second they got diagnosed? Of course not. It's a duration of time. So your body is a duration of time. So when people come in, 80% in pain, 80% of the problem, you have to basically reverse that area, reverse that situation, and that takes time. Just anything that deals with the body, avoidance is definitely not the issue to help the body. Everything is by, intervention, and everything is by concentration on the body, and then you'll make an effect on the body, okay? If that makes sense. Now, I want to come up and show you a little bit more how chiropractic affects the body. Many of you guys, let me just go into this real quick. Let me go over with the history of chiropractic. Chiropractic started in 1895, and